Rush hour crowds jostle for position on the underground train platform. A slight girl looking younger than her 17 years was nervous yet excited as she felt the vibrations of the approaching train. It was her first day at the prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London and daunting enough for any teenager fresh from a Scottish farm. But this aspiring musician faced a bigger challenge than most. She was profoundly deaf. This paragraph is set in the location of an underground metro station from where the main protagonist of the story is going to catch a train to London. The protagonist of the story, whose name is Evelyn Glennie, is a 17-year-old innocent girl from Scotland who is travelling to London to attend her first day at the Royal Academy of Music. She is a person who wants to become a musician by taking formal training in music and is nervous to be a part of the prestigious University of Music. This experience is frightening for her as she is going to be in a completely new atmosphere where talent from all across the world is going to come. But at the same time, she is also facing a bigger challenge compared to any other applicant at the university because she is profoundly deaf. For a person learning an art form which is primarily heard, one can only imagine how difficult it would be for her to pursue music which is based on sounds and melodies. Evelyn Glennie's loss of hearing had been gradual. Her mother remembers noticing something was wrong when the 8-year-old Evelyn was waiting to play the piano. They called her name and she didn't move. I suddenly realized she hadn't heard, says Isabel Glennie. For quite a while, Evelyn managed to conceal her growing deafness from friends and teachers. But by the time she was 11, her marks had deteriorated and her headmistress urged her parents to take her to a specialist. It was then discovered that her hearing was severely impaired as a result of gradual nerve damage. They were advised that she should be fitted with hearing aids and sent to a special school for the deaf. Everything suddenly looked black, says Evelyn. In this paragraph, we are made to understand that Evelyn Glennie was not born deaf, but this disability dawned upon her gradually. The early signals of which were observed when she was 8 years old. Her name was called to perform on the piano, but she did not react. This was a warning call about her loss of hearing ability. As an 8-year-old child, one is very conscious about what others around think about you. She did not want her friends or teachers to think of her as someone different, and so she kept her growing deafness a secret. The truth can never be hidden for long. Eventually, the lack of hearing ability started showing on the grades of Evelyn. Her grades started to fall, and the headmistress of her school called her parents to discuss the matter. The school requested the parents to consult a specialist to identify her problem. It was at the age of 11 that she was confirmed deaf due to nerve damage. The headmistress of the school thought that it would be good for Evelyn to join a school for her special needs and also use hearing aids to enable her to live normally. This differential treatment that Evelyn was given made her feel very depressed and hopeless. Everything looked black for her and her reality was shattered. She felt that she had now lost all hope to lead a normal life and would not be able to achieve anything in life. But Evelyn was not going to give up. She was determined to lead a normal life and pursue her interest in music. One day she noticed a girl playing a xylophone and decided that she wanted to play it too. Most of the teachers discouraged her, but percussionist Ron Forbes spotted her potential. He began by tuning two large drums to different notes. "Don't listen through your ears," he would say. "Try to sense it some other way," says Evelyn. "Suddenly I realized I could feel the higher drum from the waist up and the lower one from the waist down." Forbes repeated the exercise, and soon Evelyn discovered that she could sense certain notes in different parts of her body. "I had learned to open my mind and body to sounds and vibrations. The rest was sheer determination and hard work." When the headmistress of Evelyn's school had suggested that she was to live a different life, Evelyn was not ready to accept all of this treatment. She was determined to lead a normal life. In school, she observed a small girl playing a xylophone, which is an instrument which works by hitting sticks on a surface that generates vibrations. She was amused by this instrument and wanted to learn these kind of instruments. Initially, none of her teachers promoted her request to learn percussions, but it was her school music teacher, Ron Forbes, who noticed the desire to learn and identified her potential to study vibrations from percussions. He knew that she could not hear the music, but he coached her to feel the vibrations from the instruments through her body. The belief and support of Ron Forbes, combined with the hard work and dedication of Evelyn, made her understand percussions like nobody else. With practice and time, she became so good at percussions that she started performing with youth orchestras and decided to make music her life. She never looked back from that point onwards. She toured the United Kingdom with a youth orchestra, and by the time she was 16, she had decided to make music her life. She auditioned for the Royal Academy of Music and scored one of the highest marks in the history of the Academy. She gradually moved from orchestral work to solo performances. At the end of her 3-year course, she had captured most of the top awards. As Evelyn was sure that she wanted to convert her passion for music into a profession, she applied to the Royal Academy of Music to get formal training in music. She at first was little scared whether or not a deaf person will be admitted to such a reputed university, but with her dedicated effort, she could manage to score the highest score in the history of the university. She not only successfully completed her course and widened her knowledge of percussions, but also bagged many awards in the 3-year course period. And for all this, Evelyn won't accept any kind of heroic achievement. If you work hard and know where you are going, you'll get there. And she got right to the top, the world's most sought after and multi-percussionist with a mastery of some 1,000 instruments and hectic international schedule. Her self-confidence was boosted, and she now started to perform solo shows internationally. Her journey and hard work brought a lot of success to Evelyn, but she never let the power of success get to her brain. She still continues to be a humble and modest individual who persistently keeps on working to widen her knowledge of music and has successfully managed to learn over 1,000 instruments. It is intriguing to watch Evelyn function so effortlessly without hearing. In our 2-hour discussion, she never missed a word. "Men with bushy beards give me trouble," she laughed. "It is not just watching the lips, it's the whole face, especially the eyes." She speaks flawlessly with a Scottish lilt. "My speech is clear because I could hear till I was 11, she says. But that doesn't explain how she managed to learn French and master basic Japanese. When God takes away something, He also blesses you with a lot of ability that nobody else possesses. Although Evelyn could not hear, but she could make out words by studying the lips and the facial expressions of the other. She was only troubled when she talked to bearded men, as she could not observe the movement of lips and eyes clearly. Her sharpness to understand language was so good that she became a multilingual person with ability to speak in French as well as Japanese. As for music, she explains, it pours in through every part of my body. It tingles in the skin, my cheekbones, and even in my hair. When she plays the xylophone, she can sense the sound passing up the stick into her fingertips. By leaning against the drums, she can feel the resonances flowing into her body. On a wooden platform, she removes her shoes so that the vibrations pass through her bare feet and up her legs. This paragraph explains the process how Evelyn Glennie listens to music through her body. She uses the sense organ of skin to feel the vibrations from musical instruments. When she plays the xylophone, she can sense the sounds flowing from the sticks into her hands. She would walk barefoot on wooden platforms from which she could sense the vibration in her feet. She would also lean on drums to feel the vibrations through her body. Not surprisingly, Evelyn delights her audiences. In 1991, she was presented with the Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious Soloist of the Year award, says master percussionist James Blades. God may have taken her hearing, but He has given her back something extraordinary. What we fear, she feels far more deeply than any of us. That is why she expresses music so beautifully. Her global success and consistent work in the field of music helped her achieve the prestigious award of Soloist of the Year by the Royal Philharmonic Society. James Blades also acknowledges that Evelyn Glennie is bestowed with extraordinary ability to feel music like nobody else. Evelyn confesses that she is something of a workaholic. I've just got to work, often harder than classical musicians, but the rewards are enormous. Apart from the regular concerts, Evelyn also gives free concerts in prisons and hospitals. She also gives high priority to classes for young musicians. Anne Richlin of the Beethoven Fund for Deaf Children says, she is a shining inspiration for deaf children. They see that there is nowhere that they cannot go. Despite gaining so much recognition and appreciation for her contribution in the field of music, Evelyn Glennie has not stopped working hard and continues to work and learn new things to retain her unique position in the field of music. Here, we also get to see that Evelyn Glennie is a philanthropic and believes in giving back to the society by performing free concerts for people who have lost all hope and enabling them by motivating them to do something useful with their lives. She also serves as a role model for young musicians and deaf kids. Evelyn Glennie has already accomplished more than most people twice her age. She has brought percussions to the front of the orchestra and demonstrated that it can be very moving. She has given inspiration to those who are handicapped, people who look to her and say, if she can do it, I can. And not the least, she has given enormous pleasure to millions. The achievements of Evelyn Glennie are much more than what others her age have achieved. It is because of her contribution that people have started paying more attention to percussion instruments. She serves as a living legend for the handicapped and also a motivation to millions who have heard her story. Now, having understood the story, let's discuss the themes of the story. Evelyn Glennie is a perfect example to present that disability in the life cannot stop anybody from living a normal life. If you are determined, you can also lead an extraordinary life. The other theme that we observe is that family and mentors play an important role in grooming you for a better future. If the parents would have agreed with the headmistress, probably Evelyn would not have had the opportunity to explore herself and would have lived a life of self-doubt and isolation. If it were not for the belief of mentors like Ron Forbes, Evelyn would never have coached to follow her passion of music. So this shows the importance of a supportive family and a useful mentor. We are also showed that dedicated and honest efforts always help a person to attain success in life, and that hard work never goes unrecognized. Good karma is always rewarded with fruitful achievements in life. Lastly, we can also see the importance of empowering others when you enjoy a position of reputation and power. Evelyn Glennie used her popularity to do humanitarian and philanthropic contributions to make the lives of prisoners and hospital patients better. She also serves as a living legend to young musicians and a role model to the disabled children. If we study the timeline of events in the story, we can observe the following sequence of events. Please pause the video and take a brief note of the same in your notebooks. This will be helpful for you when you are supposed to frame question and answers for this chapter. Now the most important descriptive answer for this chapter is with regards to character sketch of Evelyn Glennie. Evelyn Glennie was very passionate about her music and did not let her hearing disability become a hurdle in her path to success. She was well aware of herself but was determined to lead a normal life. She was an optimistic and positively driven person who always persevered hard as an obedient and hardworking learner to understand vibrations of instruments as suggested by Ron Forbes. Dedicated and a lifelong learner, she did not give up learning about new instruments and languages. She was a self-confident person who initially performed with a young orchestra but then slowly moved on to solo performances. Her progress led her to achieve many awards, including the Soloist of the Year award from the Royal Philharmonic Society. She is a modest and humble human being who did not have a very high opinion of herself, and at the same time believed in performing socially useful activities and becoming a role model for millions. There are various people who have had varied opinions about Evelyn through her lifespan. The headmistress and Ron Forbes have had very impactful opinions in the life of Evelyn Glennie. The headmistress belittled the ability of Evelyn and did not see the capability in Evelyn to lead a normal life. She treated her differently and thought that as a result of her hearing disability, Evelyn would not be able to lead a normal life. She was of the opinion that Evelyn would need to get hearing aids and visit a special school in order to do something positive with her life. On the contrary, Ron Forbes was of the opinion that Evelyn has the potential to follow her passion and coached her to understand the vibrations. If it was not for Ron Forbes' belief in Evelyn, the world could not have seen such an extraordinary musical prodigy. James Blades, who is a master percussionist, and Anne Richlin, who managed a public welfare fund, believed that Evelyn was a person with extraordinary capability and was also a shining inspiration for specially abled individuals.